We are back, and once again, we are struggling with the audio setup, dog.
Hey, but we got a mic. You just see what I'm saying? Headset's a little crazy still.
My earphones underneath because the shit's crazy.
Wade's,
look at my man's
Wade's
new
been
mic.
kidnapped.
Come on, son.
The mic is looking crazy, though. We're getting
What's
the stand comes through Monday.
Dear Stan, I wrote you, but you still ain't calling. Oh, you said Stan.
Hey.
Sorry. I left
Wade
my
has
page
been
in
kidnapped
Miami
again.
at
He's
the
in somebody's basement. You
Yeah,
don't want to
listen.
listen. Want to explain your view or no?
Yeah, so I got here, took a shower, got out, butt naked, opened the curtains to see my view. It's a parking garage. And
This man is in a parking garage. This man is kidnapped, dude. This man is in somebody's basement, bro.
just ass out for the people parking their fucking cars for their Broadway walk. But listen, I'm in my home state, Sensei. I'm back.
That's right. That's true.
I'm back. Country feeling down in Nashville,
Country
Tennessee.
boy, country
you know what's
boy.
crazy?
Tennessee.
I'm actually about to see my dad for the first time in 4 years.
What? 4 years?
Yeah, bro. It's been a while.
Bro. 4? I had no
Yeah,
idea,
man.
bro.
Yeah. So my pops is gonna come down, bro. It's life, as the people in London say. It's life, isn't it? I've just been gone for never again. I've been gone for so long and he doesn't travel. My dad doesn't get out of Tennessee, but now that I'm coming to Nashville for a bit, obviously was hoping to work the Misfits card, but that's gone and dead and GG.
GG's.
Big GG's. But I will be there. Anyway, going to see the Pops on Friday. But we have to talk about who fathered who in the Gibb versus Jarvis matchup, because it truly was a father, son, older brother, younger brother kind of moment here. Because, at least in my opinion, we're going to go back and take a look at this fight. It looked like Gibbs' just flat-out experience and the fact that he was where Jarvis is now a couple of years ago, that, in my opinion, made this fight, or I guess turned this fight for him. But I'm going to let you talk about it. I was there in person. Give me your just kind of first thoughts. Gibb versus Jarvis, the review of that fight. What happened in your mind?
Gibb did literally everything right. It was a solid performance from Gibb, because Gibb was the guy, again, doesn't have the power, doesn't have the speed, and even at times we've seen the stance, the balance, a little awkward. You know what I'm saying?
He's always been.
And he's been chinny. He gets tagged. It looks like he gets hurt when he barely gets tagged. And Gibb was able to just skate away out of danger, but not by accident. A lot of times we see guys just swing. They get in the trades and the other guy just misses. Mm-hmm. Just things happen by accident. It just happens. No, with Gibb, everything he did was on purpose. When he didn't get hit, it's because he was getting out of the way. When he hit Gibb, it's because he was doing the right thing. He wasn't just ducking and chucking. Everything was methodical. Everything was planned. You know what I'm saying? Everything was about technique, using the footwork, getting in, getting out, making sure not giving Jarvis any opportunity to land shots. It was like such a sound performance for Gibb. Like, he did everything everywhere. Solid.
Like you said, he fought with a purpose. That was the best way to put it. Like, I'm on my own, into your head is my soul to keep. Okay, sorry. So Justin Bieber purpose. There was definitely purpose, but there was also a level of understanding that Jarvis has not quite got yet, and that was range. It was shot selection. It was variability. There were so many things that Gibb did well that Jarvis just either wasn't processing or was just stuck. He just could not get out of first gear.
With Jarvis, the level he's at, he slips punches very well. His upper body education is fantastic, especially for his level. It's good in general, but it's fantastic. His defense is solid, and he has some punching power. But the thing was, he was just defending punches and throwing punches.
Yep.
And he wasn't doing everything else. And that's what Gibb was doing. Gibb was doing everything else. Setting up punches, using his footwork to evade, not just his upper body education. Seeing things, countering out and then back in. So just noticing different things. The variety in the shot selection. When we watched the fight together, right, that was a big part. what's available. Where Jarvis was throwing punches, but like throwing the punches that he likes to throw, not the punches that are available.
Massive point.
When punches are coming in, he's defending the punches, but not making those reads. Okay, when he throws this, I can catch and I can shoot. This is going to be available here. So Jarvis has a lot of potential. And because you look the way he punches, like, man, because he even tagged Gibb and hurt him.
Hit him with some shots Jarvis right behind the ear.
Yeah, Jarvis dealt with punches. Like, when it came to the punches being landed, right, just landed, Jarvis dealt with them a lot better.
Yeah.
And even with the punches thrown, it's like seemed like that Jarvis, like, landed, that is. That there was a couple that Gibb landed late because Jarvis was tired. That seemed to affect Jarvis.
One big over.
When Jarvis landed, it was like Gibb was like, I need to slide out of here. Holy smokes. You know?
And that was the whole point of the lead up was like, we're going to stand in the middle and first one to take. Gibb was never going to fight that fight. He was never going to.
Right.
And he shouldn't have had to. He was the smarter fighter for not doing it. Jarvis was going to fight that fight. He's like, cool, yeah, I'm going to be here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, Jarvis was just trying to brawl.
Yeah.
Where Gibb was playing the game.
Yeah.
And we saw the sweet science. Well. Yes, we saw the sweet science from Gibb. And even when later in the fight, when Jarvis was tired, he put his nose down, he put his head in his chest and his sternum and work combination. But it was still smart. He get his work in up close, then slide out, then circle. Never let Jarvis. What am I talking about? Listen,
you're the little girl in Gibb's video. Why, Jeeves? Why?
Why, Jeeves? It's because it's getting light. But listen, no, Gibb. He like never let Jarvis settle. That was the main thing. Yeah. He was never there to be hit, always giving him a different look. And that's, you said experience. Experience is the main thing.
Such a key.
But it's not just experience. Like, people think experience and they may think, oh, because he's been there before so he can handle the moment. It's not that. We're talking about just his boxing ability. And his ability to play the game in there was next level with Jarvis. Jarvis tried to brawl. And Gibbs like, we're not doing that.
Not today, buddy. Not today. And listen, I had gone and seen Jarvis spar. He sparred a lot like he fights, right? Which was, I'm going to walk forward. I'm going to take a bunch of whatever you got. I'm going to show some decent head movement here and there, but I'm going to take punches to give punches. And that's the way he sparred.
Right.
And they called him the bulldozer in that gym because he does. He walks through stuff to get to what he wants to get to, and Gibb just didn't play that game with him. It's like you said, like, it was very impressive watching Gibb be able to frame for the first time for a guy that doesn't do that a lot. He started doing that in the Austin fight a little bit more, which I saw, especially the second time around. He was using his frame a lot. And I think that's going to be a big – if he can manipulate it better in the Kinney fight, which we'll talk about in a separate video. But talk to me about, like –
Can I just say this real quick? We know it's crazy thinking back at it. Jarvis, I don't even think he threw like one feint. Dude, like he wasn't trying to get any reads whatsoever. Like
the best combinations he threw were in the first round. Double jab, right hand.
Double jab, right hand. But he was really trying to land all those punches. Like I think for him it wasn't like trying to set anything up. He's just like, I'm just gonna get closer to you so I can throw my right hand. You know what I'm saying? I think like there was no setup where Gibb, you can see that he's feint. Let me see what he's doing. Okay, let me level change and see what we're working at. Throw a jab into the glove. We'll see what's going on. Where Jarvis is like, get over here. It's like, dude, it's like an abusive brother or like an abusive dad is just like, get your ass over here. I'm gonna beat the. You know what I mean? Like I'm just gonna chase you down and try to beat you up. Like you know what I mean? Like, no game plan.
When we watched Jarvis, so Sensei and I watched this fight off camera because we knew that my setup was gonna be ass when I got on the road. So we watched it. This is literally terrible. Tomorrow I'm fixing this, but we watched it in the first. One of the biggest things we just kept coming back to with Jarvis, and we'll talk about what he needs to work on. One of the biggest things was just coordination of purpose behind what he's doing. Like his upper body wanted to do things, his lower body was like, we're not in communication here, right? So he was reaching on a lot of shots. He was reaching with his jab. He was reaching and swinging and flailing with the right hand. But if his feet are together with some of those shots and he's able to follow up and move into shots, Jesus Christ, he's got devastating hands.
He does, man. There was so many shots that were so close.
Just whizzing by. And Gibb, again, decent enough to frame out,
That's because
understand
Gibbs
where
is
he has
making
to
sure
be.
he wasn't there. Yeah, making sure he wasn't there.
Would you, like, if you're rating the two performances, we talked about Kenny's performance, and you used the word dominant.
Yes.
And granted, you have to take in strength of schedule here, right? Who did you fight? You think Jarvis smokes Wenderson?
Jarvis, yeah. And I think, let me tell you something. Because Wenderson cannot go toe-to-toe with Jarvis.
And not get hit with a big one.
Correct, mainly because the way that they punch. Wenderson is an arm puncher. He's an MMA puncher.
Yep.
He does not have devastating power. He might in MMA if he threw it correctly, but he does not turn a lot into his punches, right? Yeah. Most of his punches are arm punches. He's a volume puncher, right?
Yep.
So you better have the best defense on planet Earth, okay, or best footwork if you plan to do any of those things, right? Or the greatest chin ever. You know what I'm saying? Like,
fucking the best.
You know what I'm saying though? Like, if you're gonna play that high guard game and walk
better
forward,
be Dwight Howard in his prime,
and arm punching, you got to be super elusive. You know, every guy who's fought squared up high guard, had hammers.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't, so if Jarvis can do that, and if you look at Jarvis's head movement, is better than Wenderson's. Jarvis's ability to deflect shots, his upper body education, all that good stuff, is a lot better. His ability to take a punch is better because we saw real shots being taken, right?
My point,
with Jarvis.
The reason I ask is because, and we'll talk about Jarvis and Wenderson in a second, because apparently that fight's going to happen. Wenderson is going to come back, according to him.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so I'm excited. I want to see that. But you put that strength of schedule out there. Whose performance in your mind was better, Gibb or Kenny, based on the person they were fighting and how the fight went?
When you're talking about, so which fighter fought the better fight?
Right, like who performed based on the level they had to at the highest level? Like, because I remember when we talked in our other video, you said you thought Kenny had more to give. Do you think Gibb had more to give?
No, I think Gibb fought that perfectly. I personally thought Gibb had the better performance. Even when I was watching it live, like I don't need to it's not like an afterthought. Like even when I was watching it live, if you looked at my actual live reaction, it was more impressed with like, man, Gibbs just getting out of the way. Like he's super sound. Right? He's not making any mistakes because literally when he made one or two mistakes, Jarvis caught him.
Tagged.
And that's the point that has to happen with the performance, right? If I can get away with, if we're playing a different sport, whatever, if I can get away with making a bunch of mistakes and being lazy here at times and get away with that, and making me pay for those mistakes, like in that whole exchange with Kenny and Wenderson, when he was like stunting on him and just like going absolutely crazy,
stunting.
There was only like one time when he did the little slip and then duck under. That was like the only time he had to defend punches in that entire exchange because Wenderson was just literally high guarded up, and and Leon said this, but I know that you got Gibbs, this guy, right? But he made a point in saying, there was nothing coming back, right? Nothing to worry about, so no fear. And we know this as people who fight, especially in sparring. When you get with somebody, you go, let me start trying this now. Let me try this move. Let me try this move that I would never try against somebody who I know can do that. And again, I'm just not trying to take away from Ken,
they're just different fights.
He also showed things that we haven't seen before, which is cool. Right?
Every fight.
We saw some new education that he has as a boxer to Philly Shell, some things that we haven't seen from him before. But the performance, you have to be Gibb needed to be more switched on. His margin of error was very small. And he also faced some adversity in that performance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, yes, it's like one of those things when you talk about, like, comeback wins. Like, you'll love this reference. LeBron's come back from down 3-1. You know what I'm saying?
3-1, but yeah.
Yeah, 3-1, comes back and
Never
wins.
done before.
Some people will say
it's
it's better to sweep somebody.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, but also when, the team is really good, and it's not like you were supposed to sweep them or you're not supposed to sweep them. That's, to me, the strength of schedule. What were you supposed to do, right? And I don't know if Gibb was supposed to do that.
Yeah,
you know
so Gibb put on...
In my opinion, Kenny was supposed to do a little bit more.
Right.
And I didn't expect Gibbs' evasive footwork.
Yeah.
Like, he was literally in, and Jarvis is returning, and he's just, like, barely out of there almost every time.
So
like,
basically what
I
you're
was
saying
impressed
is
by
that Gibb gave a greatest of all time LeBron James down 3-1 against the greatest NBA statistical team ever.
I knew I say
performance.
something about LeBron.
I was just saying, I just wanted to make sure we were on the same page. LeBron's the GOAT.
No, I don't want to go down that route because
sorry.
No,
I know you don't. It's body bags. Yes, Gibb put on a great performance. Now we're gonna talk about Gibb and Kenny. I want to dedicate an entire video to that, so we're gonna talk about that in a little bit here. But I guess the biggest takeaway from you or for you from the Gibb fight, let's do biggest takeaway for Gibb and biggest takeaway for Jarvis as they go. Jarvis obviously going into the third place fight, Gibb going into the Kenny fight. What were the biggest takeaways that you found in this fight?
Despite his performance being fantastic, I still saw that he doesn't take punches very well.
Talking about Gibb.
Gibb, yes, doesn't take punches very well. Just like a little late in terms of his reactions, which he gets surprised by shots, like as they're being landed, which makes it tough to absorb them correctly. And the power, for some reason, I know Jarvis, has got like a titanium cranium. Bars.
Legit bars. Titanium,
so
cranium, uranium. It's an Eminem shit.
hey. It just seemed like his power wasn't there like we saw against Austin.
Yeah, I think there was a part of it that was I don't really know. I mean, maybe it's very situational, especially with Gibb. Like, he also wasn't landing like he was landing on Austin, especially upstairs.
Yeah, but there was some shots that he cracked.
He cracked it. But he cracked Jarvis. And Jarvis, like you said, took shots well too. Like, a lot of shots here.
That's what I was just gonna say, that Jarvis does a very good job of that, like, last resort. Like, you're about to get hit by a punch, and he's like, oh, and he turns his head, and you, like, it's crazy. But, like, you don't realize if your hands are down, you can still take a punch properly. And most guys, if they don't, and they turn their head this way and get hit here, if Jarvis turns his head here and gets hit here, it's a completely different punch, So I think Jarvis did a good job of that, where Austin was kind of like running into shots, not looking, chin up in the air.
Chin straight up.
So it's not, I don't know if, you know what I mean? That was my one thing. I was like, the power there. But Gibbs, cardio, the volume that he had late, he still had, I will say this, he still had somewhat power late, because I feel like when I've seen him before go at the distance,
he just destroyed Jarvis.
Even like Taylor Holder, like, even though he was active at the end, it seemed like a lot of the zip came off the punches, where it seemed like he still had some zip on his punches, regardless of how active he was.
He made Jarvis, he like rewound Jarvis's just entire forward pressure in those last couple of rounds. It was like Jarvis just slowed to a complete stop. That's how much Gibb had put on him forward volume, and at some point it was just one-way traffic at the end there. But
yeah, I think this fight for Gibb is gonna, like, the stock will go up as Jarvis continues the fight
massively, because Jarvis has got. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Your biggest takeaway for Jarvis?
This dude is if he learns to set up shots and play the game, scary, my friend, because he does the things that take a long time to learn.
Yeah.
Pretty
already.
Well. Already, especially defensively. His upper body, again, I said it again, his upper body education, his ability to slip shots and keep his eyes down the range, bro. Like, his eyes are still there. He's catching, he just hasn't been able to put it together, where most guys, like, are using their feet to get out of the way. Like, even myself, I'm like, I'm still like, I love to use my feet to get out of the way instead of standing there, because you got to be, like, perfect.
You got to be sharp.
You make a little, you got to, make little mistakes. His guard's up, taking shots off the shoulders, being able to stay in the fire, and return power shots are great. It's just, if he learns to set things up, learns to close the gap, learns to have some variety in his selection, go downstairs, because like we talked about, this Gib was wide open to the body. There was so much that he could have done instead of just throwing the punches he wanted to land.
Head hunting.
He's going to get like the confidence that he has now defensively. Like when he can do that and set people up, it's like now you can set traps for people.
Mm-hmm.
You have someone who can walk you down and take your best shots and then also set you up for shots, because that's the only thing he couldn't do. He was literally walking Gib down, but couldn't land a punch. Couldn't set anything up. He does that.
Scary.
He's scary to a lot of guys.
Scary. Well, listen, we'll see if they make that Winterson-Nunes fight as a third-place fight. Gib and Kenny in the Kingpin Finals. Comment section. Let us know down below, what did you take away from this fight, and was Gib's performance the best you've seen from him? Granted, off the competition he fought. We don't have those answers, but Kingpin Final, guess we'll find out.
Oos.
I can't take no loss. I don't even know what it